This is Hidden Killers Week in Review.
A look back at the most prolific stories of the week.
Behind every locked door is a story waiting to be uncovered. This is Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski, featuring psychotherapist and author Siobhan Scott.
Well, we've been saying this word a lot, did he? And did he do it? I think there's a lot of evidence to point to, my God. There's so many charges that have been brought against him and so many accusations. The latest, at least as of this recording, because there's new ones that pop up every single day, Thalia Graves, she's hired an attorney to bring this case, Miss Allred, against Diddy. And the charges in this are quite shocking. It takes it even a step beyond the sexual abuse. We're adding in videotaping the act itself of rape between him and his bodyguard, allegedly, and then distributing the video. Joining me to discuss, Siobhan Scott, psychotherapist and author. Yeah, the depravity just keeps getting darker and darker with Diddy, does it not?
Yeah, it really does. It really does. Just an absolutely monster of a person. And with this many accusations, it's, as you say, I think a reasonable guess that at least a good chunk of it is true. When
there's smoke, there's fire. I think you can't even see the smoke anymore. I just think it's just blazing flames flying out everywhere. Let's talk about, I guess, just the fact that someone would do this in general. This is not, a consenting couple videotaping themselves. This is an allegation of rape in the studio with him and his bodyguard, and then taping it, and then holding it over her head and showing it to people over the last many years. It was just in 2023 that Graves had learned about the recording itself, and now has filed a lawsuit after Cassie Ventura's sex trafficking lawsuit. And then obviously some more evidence to show that Cassie's claims were true. What's going through someone's mind that's thinking that this is the right thing to do over someone? I don't know.
Yeah,
it defies.
I think it's about power, and I've seen it a lot with sexual perpetrators, that they photograph, they video, often in secret, and for some of them, that's as far as they go. Mm-hmm. It's the secret, and it's the sense of power, and it's like, look what I can do, that's motivating for them. But with so much of the allegations against him and some of the video we've seen, this guy takes pleasure in humiliating people and in hurting people. And that's really sadism. We talk about psychopaths, and sadism is another layer that goes with that. And, it's just incredibly troubling. It's troubling to hear about.
Well, it just seems like if you want to incriminate yourself, videotape it. You want to get caught, show it to your friends. And that seems to be what was done. We don't have all the details yet on exactly how this was distributed, or why, or sent out. It was digital. I don't know. But I would think one must think they have such an incredible level of power that they can show a video of them raping someone.
Yeah.
And
you nailed it.
Yeah. And then that's going to be okay, that somebody along the line's not going to go, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's really surprising that he's gotten away with so much for so long. But that, again, we look at the combination of really troubling personality traits. And I think it's narcissism when you see that with perpetrators, that they really think they're smarter than everybody else and they're going to get away with it.
Well, this is obviously something where she's finally come out with this. And let me have you answer this question, because the first thing that the doubters will ask is, why did it take her 20 years to come forward with these accusations? I think I know the answer to that, but why don't you explain why one would take that time?
It's incredibly common for victims to wait decades before, and this goes for male and female victims, because a lot of men as children are sexually assaulted too, and sometimes they never tell. And I think this goes to the sense of shame and the trauma that a person who's been victimized like that has, because almost uniformly with PTSD, people blame themselves for what happened. They blame themselves for being foolish, for, drinking too much, whatever the situation might have been. and they internalize that guilt and shame and just try to put it out of their minds and move on with their life. But unfortunately, that usually doesn't work very effectively.
Yeah. Yeah. In something like this, I mean, it is up to the victim if they do want to talk about it, if they do want to share it. They don't have to re-expose themselves for everybody else. It's
very true. And often it comes up for the first time in therapy, and sometimes with elderly women, who for the first time when they're 70 years old are talking about things that happened when they were 8, 9, or 10 years old. And often just opening the door with a therapist, then they become empowered enough because they are believed and they are encouraged to do something, to take action. And that's when they speak out.
This video that they speak of, because of course they're arguing and they're saying that the Diddy side is saying, oh, not true, as they've said to everything thus far. Is this something, if it exists, is this something that would have to be shown in court to further corroborate their story and the accusations? Or can this, otherwise it is just kind of a he said, she said, but I guess if you have other people that are willing to testify or subpoenaed, and this is a civil case right now, what would they need to show to really prove that this happened, other than we have a pattern of behavior right now?
Boy, that's a really good question and really troubling. And I think it, since it's a civil case, it may be up to the victim how much of that is exposed. And I would think that you could probably show portions or snippets without going through the whole thing.
Yeah.
That would just be my guess.
Which hopefully that they don't have to show any of it, or just, hell, R. Kelly had his shown in the courtroom and they still acquitted him. That looks just like your bathroom. That's your Soul Train award in the background. No, it can't be him. You never know quite exactly what's going to happen with the jury.
You're neck deep in a dark, twisted tale, and just as the tension peaks, bam, a commercial about some miracle diet pill breaks the spell. It's like finding a fly in your soup after the first bite. But here's the fix. True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. You get to enjoy your crime stories without the junk. Ad-free episodes, extended interviews that go beyond the surface, and early access to all the gruesome details. It's like swapping out a can of cheap beer for a glass of fine whiskey. So search for True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and keep the darkness flowing uninterrupted.